Agrivoltaics is the concept of combining both agriculture and solar farming using the same piece of land. So the idea is that a solar farm takes up a fair amount of land, but there is both a lot of unused land on a solar farm. Agrivoltaics tries to maximize the land use of any given piece of land by utilizing the spare space between rows and underneath the panels for growing agriculture or for grazing animals, while also generating energy from that land. So effectively you get more than 100% land use, whereas the agriculture or the solar farming alone would give you less than that.
I was reading newspapers and seeing some articles come through around New Zealand's goal to move to be 100% renewable energy by 2030. Articles around solar farms coming to New Zealand basically. I got involved with the Agrivoltaics project from a place of concern about what that meant for high quality food producing land, which is probably where some of the solar farms are best suited to, and just that competition for land use. I just thought, well, surely there's got to be a way we can do both, perhaps tweak both systems to find an optimal system where we can still farm and carry out that food production while also generating a renewable energy source on the same site.
We do research on a variety of renewable energies. One of those aspects is microgrids and looking at making communities more resilient. And we've also been working in the solar photovoltaic space, looking at the performance of PV systems and the appropriateness of those PV systems and integrated with microgrids. This led us into looking at farming communities and making farming communities more resilient.
Agrivoltaics is quite new to New Zealand. It's still being explored. There might be some small trials around at the moment, but it has not been done on any sort of larger scale. Infotech, as well as Tambo and Victoria University, have been working to see how best this could be used in the New Zealand context.
We did a GIS analysis across the country, which showed that we have vast amount of agricultural land that's entirely suitable for agrivoltaic systems. It's not going to be possible in all cases to build really big solar farms. So working with farmers to look at those paddocks that are suitable and sizing of systems that are appropriate for our distribution systems where we need to feed that electricity in is a key aspect that we're now currently investigating with a number of different farmers around the country.
Yeah, I think everyone's looking to diversify, you know, like we're looking for other options that we can do within our farm gate, So like anything like this, I think is probably, you know, you'd be remiss not to look into it at least, or at least give it an opportunity to see if it could work within where you are. But if it doesn't impact your day-to-day farming or business, then go for gold, I reckon, yeah.
Livestock, because of their mobile grazing nature, are potentially a good fit with solar panels because they won't leave anything to waste.
In the Tararua district, we've got a number of communities that are at the end of single electricity cables, and those communities are developing all the time. More lifestyle is moving into some of those communities. You start adding EVs into the equation, and the lines companies have got some real problems. They recognise those problems, and that's some of the conversations that we've been having with them.
Agrivoltaics, you need a really good level of planning, and planning around how to fix the environment, how to fix the farming activities, and also how to fix the wider community. And that's both the visual look of it, but also the impact it can have in terms of bringing additional and alternative revenue to farmers.
I think agrivoltaics has huge potential in New Zealand. New Zealand is a country where a lot of the flat land that's really well suited for solar is currently used for agriculture. So there's a natural conflict there between what do we want to use the land for. Agrivoltaics sort of avoids that conflict entirely by saying let's do both. So I think there's massive potential. I think we'll likely first see this taking off on smaller farms with small scale trials before it's moved to larger farms. I think it'll depend very much upon the farmer and what their priorities are on whether they want agrivoltaics on their farm. There's a bit of a conflict between the optimum commercial returns versus optimum land use, and whether they value a diversity of different income streams and different revenue models on their solar farm or agrivoltaic farm, or whether they're just looking to optimize financially. And so that sort of leads you down different technical solutions as well.
I think farmers recognise that there is going to be this movement to renewable energy, and there's a lot of farmers who are open to exploring the opportunities that might bring for themselves and their communities. Obviously there are questions and concerns that need to be addressed, but the overall openness to the concept has been really positive.
We see agrivoltaics as being a real opportunity for the farming community. As we know, our agricultural sector accounts for nearly 50% of our carbon emissions. And so there's been quite a lot of focus on our farming community in terms of how they can reduce their carbon footprint. Agrivoltaics offers the farmers the opportunity to actually be part of the solution, to generate green electricity, carbon-free electricity, that actually means a reduction in the carbon emissions of the economy as a whole. This potentially offsets any carbon that's associated with the normal operating practices of farmers. And so this is why we are quite excited to be working with farmers to be part of the solution for this just transition that we require for the economy.